pass the buck to kill your business. Strong statement, but I will stand behind it 100%. If you pass the buck and don't take responsibility for absolutely 100% of everything that happens in your business, you will kill your business. I've seen it happen time and time again. I'm trying to think if I've ever really passed the buck and killed a business, and I'm going to say no, because I know how important it is to take personal responsibility for absolutely everything in your business. If you're a business owner, it's 24/7, 365 days a year. You are ultimately responsible for everyone and everything and everybody and absolutely anything and everything that happens within the realm of that business, within the scope and the responsibility of that business. You just are. And that is such a different mindset for people, especially people that have gone from being an employee to a business owner. Huge mindset change. Now, passing the buck, what does it mean? Where did it come from? Where did that expression come from? And I love this because I didn't know where this came from. I mean, I've known this expression probably my entire life. I've used this expression. I've actually passed the buck on occasion because we all do. It's kind of human nature. And I know that it means to pass off responsibility for something. It could be a decision. It could be a function. It could be blaming. It could be making excuses. It could be not taking responsibility for something. It could be just letting things happen by default. That is inadvertently passing the buck. It's letting things happen without you controlling what happens. Really, really dangerous spot to be in when you're running a business and trying to build a business. So this expression actually comes from, it's a 19th century American expression, and it comes from the poker, the card game industry, but back from playing poker and playing card games. And they would literally pass a buckshot, which is, a shotgun, or I don't know, it's a shotgun shell, like buckshot. It's a shell, yeah, with little BB things in it, right? I don't know my guns, I guess, very well. So they would pass a piece of buckshot or a knife with a buckhorn handle, and they would pass the buck to indicate who the next dealer was, to say that the responsibility for dealing the next hand was going to the next person. And by 1900, that meant shifting responsibility or adjusting responsibility or giving up responsibility or just kind of shirking responsibility or passing the buck to someone else, passing the responsibility and the authority and the decision and everything to somebody else. A lot of times in our relationships, we pass the buck, right? We give up our authority, our decision-making ability in relationships, both in business and in our personal lives. I know when I got married, some of my responsibility, like for finances and things, I passed the buck or gave up the authority and responsibility of that. For paying bills and things, the monthly automatic stuff, to my ex-husband. He did all that. I did the dishes and things, and we had agreements, not necessarily stated agreements, but we passed the buck without necessarily communicating it in certain areas where he did things and I did things. That's an example of passing the buck. You might say, well, it's really shared responsibility or it's divvying up the work or something. But is it? Even though I allowed him to do those activities, I was still responsible for whether those bills got paid or not, right? So it's the same in our businesses. We are still ultimately really responsible, even though we have other people do things and help us and do different functions in our businesses to function, right? We have to have accounts. We have to have people pay bills. We have to have people help us do purchasing. We have to have people help us actually make our products and services and deliver our products and services. A lot of times we have people help us sell and do all the other different functions that it takes to make our businesses work, to make them businesses, right? But ultimately, we are responsible for absolutely everything that happens there. We are responsible if someone behaves inappropriately. Sad but true, but as a business owner, we are. That's why we make policies and procedures and systems, and we put things in place to make sure that people behave in a way that's acceptable to us for our organization. But it's all our responsibility. Harry Truman in 1943 put a sign on his desk, which is probably more famous than this passing the buck saying, that said the buck stops here. And when you own a business, ultimately every one of us should have a sign on our desk or in our brain and heart, at least, that says the buck stops here. I know that it is my responsibility to set things up for everyone in my organization to have success, my customers to have success with our products and services. It's my responsibility. Now, it's not my responsibility to make sure that they do what they should do with our products or services. Yeah, I can't live for other people, but it is my responsibility within my realm, my little kingdom of my business, to set things up for people to succeed easily. The buck stops here. The buck stops with you. I would love to hear what you think about this, and if you believe this, or if you believe that, no, the buck doesn't stop with you and that someone else is ultimately responsible for your business. Go ahead, share in the comments below, because I would love to know. Make it an amazing day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.